My business was doing very well until with the stroke of a pen, our company lost 80% of our revenue. So just imagine you're working, sacrificing everything to build something, and overnight it's stripped from you. It's almost as if I lost my identity. Heck no, I am not applying to a job. I am going to make this work. And so what did I do? I started showing up more. And do you know, in less than 2 weeks, we had a contract making almost as much as what we lost. My name is Kim Ali, and let us nurse your organization back to health. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
How is everyone doing today? All right, so we are going to talk about leading with resilience, how to stay motivated when the mission shifts. Now, before we begin, I want you to do me a favor. Can everyone close their eyes for a second? I know you're eating that yummy breakfast, but just go ahead, take a second and close your eyes and just take a deep breath in. Now imagine you are a captain of a ship. You and your crew are sailing along the Atlantic Ocean. There's a nice soft breeze. The sky is blue, and your destination is right in front of you. But all of a sudden, a storm comes. The waves are relentless. The wind is deafening. The sky turns from blue to gray, and now all of a sudden, your path is no longer visible. That is leadership today. Everyone open your eyes, please. So if you haven't noticed, the last couple of months, there's a new administration in town. And we are seeing executive orders come at us faster than we can keep up with. This is having a change in the political climate right now. And this is also impacting organizations. And so that means that there could be a mission or vision change within your organization that doesn't align with your core values. And so what do? Leadership isn't about the calm, but it's about how we step up and lead during the storm. Right now, uncertainty is higher than ever. Policies are changing and people are looking to you. Now, I don't have all the answers for you today, but what I do know is that you are exceptional leaders because you are here in this room today. Because I know a lot of you had to go through obstacles to get here. Just take a look around, look at the room. Some people couldn't be here because of fear, and that's okay. They have every right to be concerned right now. I also know that some of you had the courage to get on a flight with everything happening, with planes crashing, the FAA is short-staffed, but some of you still had the courage to show up here today. And if you work in the federal government, I know for a fact that you had to pay out of your own dime to come here because all credit cards are frozen. They are not approving travel right now, but you still had the courage to come. And there's something else that I do know. And I want to ask your permission first before I talk about this. But is it okay if I talk about faith for a moment? Is that okay with everyone? Do I have your permission? Okay. I know that faith brought a lot of you here today, right? And all of you have a mission. I believe that all of you know you have a purpose, and you were put on this earth to fulfill that mission. And the way I look at life, I look at our purpose as our destination, right? So we're on our road, we're traveling, we're trying to get to our destination, but there are obstacles. There are potholes along the way. There's traffic, there's construction, and we have to take detours. Sometimes the original path doesn't pan out. And heck, sometimes we even break down and we can't even move until we heal. But it is our purpose and our faith that keeps us on that road until we get to our mission. So today, I want to share with you 3 strategies to keep you motivated when the mission shifts. These strategies, in addition to your faith, will keep you on your path. I've been through situations in life, and if it had not been for these strategies and my faith, I would have pulled over and said, you know what? I can't do this. Take the keys. Someone else drive for me. All right. So are you ready to learn about 3 strategies to keep you motivated when the mission shifts? Yes? All right, let's go. So number one is own your influence. What does that mean? Control what you can control. Now, I know right now there are decisions being made that you have no control over, and it is impacting all of us. And I know it doesn't feel good. In fact, uncertainty is one of the biggest threats to humans because it makes us feel powerless. It makes us feel helpless, and no one wants to feel helpless, right? But here's the thing, exceptional leaders like yourself, we don't focus on what we can't control. We focus and we double down on what we have influence over. So I'm going to give you a perfect example. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Now, I know those are dirty words right now, but I have to bring this up. So a lot of organizations are pulling out of their diversity, equity, and inclusion plans. And they have every right because of all of the executive orders. But let me ask you a question. All of you are exceptional leaders because you are here. So if my organization doesn't have a DE&I plan, does that mean I no longer respect my team? No, it doesn't. If I don't have a DE&I strategy, does it mean I offer opportunity to one group and withhold opportunities from another group? No, it doesn't. That's the human thing to do. We don't need a policy or an executive order to guide us on how to be human and to be good leaders. And so focus on what you can control. Just because the mission shifts doesn't mean that your core values do not shift. Who you are doesn't waver in times of uncertainty. Who you are is here in your heart and in your mind. Lean into that. You have control of your team. You dictate how your team shows up, how they engage with each other. You dictate the level of excellence that you deliver, right? So what if the mission changed? I am still going to show up and do my best, right? You can do something, but it doesn't mean you support it. So lean into your excellence, lean into your core values, regardless of the mission. I talked a little bit professionally about what you can control, what is in your sphere of influence. But I want to talk personally about what you can control, right? Because as leaders, our stress levels are at an all-time high right now. I come from a nursing background. I'm going to get into that shortly. But I fully believe we cannot show up as our true, authentic selves if we aren't feeling well, right? If our mental health is impacted, if our physical health is impacted, if our support system is not there for us. And so when we look at what we can control personally, does this mean maybe, hey, we need to cut back on social media, minimize watching the news, limit our contacts with the negative Nancys, right? We want to be around positive people right now to uplift us. So this is going to be your first exercise. I really want you to think about two things. I'll give you a minute. What can you control professionally right now? And what can you control personally? I'll give you a few seconds just to think about it. If you can, if you have a pad and a pen, write it down or just take notes in your phone. All right. So moving on, first one, own your influence, control what you can control. Second one is something I'm very passionate about, and you'll find out in a second. But connect to your purpose is going to be the second strategy that is going to get you through uncertainty. Without purpose, this doesn't mean anything. If you don't have anything that is getting you up out of bed and getting you to a job, this is all pointless. So I'm going to get very vulnerable and transparent with you right now. I discovered my purpose about, I'd say 3-4 years ago. And I come from a nursing background. I've been a nurse for almost 20 years now. They give nursing licenses to 2-year-olds, but I've been a nurse for a while. And about 10 years ago, I had the opportunity to go overseas and open up a hospital. It was a really, really exciting experience. Unfortunately, experienced something very traumatic on the job. And that is what led me to start my company. And so that traumatic experience helped me discover my purpose. And so my purpose is to help leaders like you discover your full potential and to help your organizations grow, right? And so my business was doing very well until January 28th, 2025. With the stroke of a pen, our company lost 80% of our revenue. I will say that again. We lost 80% of our revenue with a stroke of a pen. We also had to scrub all of our sites. In case you all don't know, just FYI, there are certain keywords that are flagged because of the executive order. So we had to scrub everything. I am a LinkedIn learning instructor. I have a course on climate justice and business sustainability. I had to remove all of that from my website and my LinkedIn profile. I had a DE&I and energy podcast. The company dropped that. So just imagine you're working 2-3 years hard, blood, sweat, tears, sacrificing everything to build something. And overnight, it's stripped from you. It's almost as if I lost my identity. And so any average person or normal person, I would say, would start panicking, right? Most people would say, oh my gosh, maybe I should get a job, right? This isn't working out. And I started to think about going back to nursing. And I started to think about working the 12, 13-hour shifts, the rude doctors, the patients who are scared because they don't know what their diagnosis is, the dangerous family members. Sidebar, nursing is becoming a dangerous profession. I don't know if you've been watching the news, but nurses are literally losing their lives now in the hospital, right? So I started to think about that. And then I thought about my purpose and why I started my business. And then I said, no, heck no. I am not applying to a job. I am going to make this work. And so what did I do? I started showing up more. I started posting more on LinkedIn. I leveraged my network. I hired a business development company to write proposals on our behalf. And do you know, in less than 2 weeks, we had a contract making almost as much as what we lost. Thank you. But it was because of my faith. It was because of my purpose. That was my anchor. That is what pulled me through. And so I want to ask you, all of you, what is your purpose? Why are you here? Why are you in this role? Right? Really think about it. Do you see how passionate I get when I talk about my purpose? That is how you should speak about your job. Your purpose is going to be your anchor. When times like this happen, when life happens, because life does happen, it is your purpose and your faith that is going to pull you through. So I'll give you a second. Think about it. What is your purpose? Is it your family? Are you a caregiver? Do you have a child with special needs? Are you close to retirement and you're just trying to hang on? Like, I just got to get there. Right? Or maybe this is funding your side hustle so that way you can start your own company. Why are you doing this? What have you sacrificed to get to this place in your life? Think about it. I'll give you a second to think about what is your purpose? What gets you up out of bed? You don't have to be willing to die for something like me, but it has to get you excited. It has to force you to show up in ways that you never thought you would. What is your purpose? All right. So now that you've had some time to think about your purpose, quick show of hands, how many of you knew your purpose before you came here? Okay. Has your purpose changed, or have you discovered a new purpose now? Okay, great. We have a couple of people in the audience. Great. Thank you for your transparency. Thank you. All right. So next and the last, actually there's a bonus. I'm going to give you a bonus after this one. But the third one is lead with authenticity. All right. People can smell phoniness a mile away. In this current climate, no one wants a leader that thinks they know it all and has it figured out, because we don't. We've never been here before, right? I want to share something with you, and I've never seen it before. I was on a leadership call with my coach. I have a leadership coach, by the way. And I've always admired her, but after this conversation, I had even more admiration and respect for her. This is a woman who has been in leadership for over 30 years. And she broke down this past week and told me she doesn't know if her business is viable anymore because of everything that is happening. Imagine that, someone with 30 years of experience breaking down to their mentee. That didn't change my perception of her. If anything, my respect was elevated because of that. And so you know what's happening now? Because she had the courage to share this with me, I'm now putting her on projects that my company is working on, right? But if she didn't have the courage to share that with me, I would have never known, and she would have suffered in silence. Your team isn't looking for a perfect leader. They're looking for you, the authentic you. And so I want to ask you, what is something that you are not sharing with your team? And how can you be more vulnerable with them? You might be holding on to something, and if you share it with them, it could take your team, your company to the next level. Just because we're leading people doesn't mean it can't add value and help us solve problems. So I want to ask you, what is something that you are holding back from your team that could possibly take you to the next level? And how can you start being more vulnerable with your team? All right. So that's the third. I'm going to give you a bonus. It's not on the slides, but community. I hope all of you have at least one person that you can lean into right now. How many of you have a support person right now? Okay. I don't see enough hands. That's not enough. I want everyone to have a support person, right? You don't go this alone. This is too difficult to go alone. You need to lean into your community of leaders. You never know. Someone might be doing something at their organization that you can implement at your organization, but you don't know if you don't ask, right? So if you don't have someone that you can tap into right now, this is the perfect setting. There are tons of leaders here. We have a break coming up. Start networking. See who you can team up with to create something bigger and better, right? Don't go this alone. So I have a question. Did this resonate with any of you today? Yeah, show of hands. Yeah? Okay, perfect. Thank you. So feedback is how we get better. So I would love for you to complete this survey. Only takes a couple of seconds. Most of the questions are emojis, so you can just tap. But we will love your feedback. Also, if this is something that your team would like to experience, or maybe you need one-on-one support, leave your contact information and someone from my team will reach out to you. Once you're done, you can just place your phones on the table and then we will close out. And as we close out, I just want to remind you that leadership is not about the calm. It is about the storm. This is when we grow. This is when we are tested. This is when we are elevated to the new level, right? People want a leader who have been through life. I want to talk to someone who has some bumps and bruises, who can tell me how they were able to navigate through uncertainty. What did you learn? How did you get through it? And how can you help others? And so now this is your time. So when you go back to the office, and I know people are going to come at you, where were you? You didn't answer my email. I need my vacation approved. We are going to remember to own our influence. We are going to connect with our purpose. We are going to lead with authenticity, and we are going to tap into our community, all right? I want you to remember that when you get back to work. And last but not least, I'm sure all of you love diamonds. I know I do. But diamonds are formed under pressure. And right now we are under immense pressure, but yet you are still here. You are still leading. You are still standing. And all of you in this room are diamonds. And now it is your time to shine. Everyone, thank you so much. My name is Kim Ali, and let us nurse your organization back to health. Thank you.